So, used to me now. Hope you had a good lunch, and time again to think differently. So, with all of that we already seen before, you can use your everyday tools to test and debug all of these. So, if we take our morning example again about creating a talk, you can actually use this code on that. And using Xcode means you can simply debug asynchronous code, use conditional breakpoints, and even resolve rich content like images and so on. So it's probably not much to you because you're used to it in iOS development, but trust me, on server side, it's big stuff. In terms of unit testing, you get what you are used to also with XCTest. So you don't have to transform all your already existing CI scripts to generate your reports and coverage and so on. But there is an extra thing. XCTest has been made available for Linux and all other SPM-supported platforms. So all it takes is to manually list all the available testing methods, since XCTest won't use the Objective-C runtime, obviously, on Linux. So you have to manually list them. There is some code generation step to do that automatically if you want to. And to run that on Linux, simply type swift-test, and that's it. But about deploying stuff or testing on Linux on your Mac machine, we can now rely on Docker. And yes, there is an official image. And yes, you're still at an iOS conference talking about Docker. So an official support for Docker means that it's on the Docker Hub. Docker Hub is like the official repo for Docker images. And Apple created a repo to contribute on the image evolution, so it's open source, it's on GitHub, you can contribute to that. And for example, all the Swift 5.1 images has been made available the same day that Xcode 11 was released. So it's really good stuff. We are indeed speaking about Docker, and Docker needs a Docker file just to implement the image, just to declare all the stuff you need for it to work. And first, you just want to tell him that you're using Swift 5.1. So you need that image, and we need to install some extra here. Then we just copy our source code to the created container work directory. And then we will run SPM to fetch all the needed dependencies. And finally, we just need to define the command that we will run when the container gets launched. So that specific part is currently needed only on Swift Neo version 1, because it's relying on OpenSSL. So it's only needed with Vapor 3, but with the next Swift Neo version, you don't need to use that because it's relying on boring SSL. And SSL should be boring, right? So to do some more complicated stuff, you can use a Docker compose file. It's basically composing dependencies between Docker images. So if you're using a PostgreSQL database, you just relying on the Postgres Docker images and put a dependency on your fancy FrenchKit API you've just created. And to launch it, just type this command and that's it. So after all of this, if we talk about deployment, you can use Docker Swarm or even Kubernetes to manage multiple dependencies between images. And yeah, it's obviously way, way beyond the scope of this talk, so I won't talk much about it. But to give you a simple example, we can deploy our container on Heroku, and using those simple steps. So you first have to log into the container registry only once. Then create your Heroku app. Obviously, if it doesn't create it at all. And after that, you just have to push your container to it. So web is used on Heroku for front. So still web thing. And then you can release it. And boom, you've deployed it. So we've seen it. You can do a lot of stuff with Swift today. It's really rich. And I've probably scared you a little bit with some example, but I hope at the end you will love it even more. Thank you.